Hello, and welcome to your virtual lesson. Today we're going to be looking at pages 4 and 5 in the Essential Elements book. Please notice I'm using the violin book, so if you play viola or cello, you might need to grab your book. All the notes will say the same letters, but they will be on a different place on the staff here, so it's important to use your book, but you can still listen along. It will sound exactly the same. So, if you haven't used your book yet, this is the first time you're probably seeing notes like this on a staff. And we know that we have an open D string, but we've never seen it like this. Luckily, you already know how to play your instrument, so this shouldn't be too hard today. You can either use your bow, or as it says on the page, you can pizzicato, which means pluck the strings. We're going to be moving through the whole first two pages of this, pages 4 and 5 of this, just to get comfortable with playing along, but you shouldn't need too many rounds on each song. The biggest thing here is that when you see a note, you play that letter. And when you see a rest, which is a little squiggly line, you're going to wait. Okay? So let's see how this sounds. This is number 2.
Number 2, let's play open D.
1, 2, here I go. D, 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 rest. So really, I'm just staying on one string there, and I'm either playing or I'm resting. You might want to do that one again if you got a little bit confused, but again, you're just staying on your open D string. Moving on, let's go to number 3, which says, let's play open A. Something I noticed is that everything happens at the same time, but instead of the letter D, we have the letter A. I also noticed that this note looks a little bit lower on the lines than this one. It's like in the middle of the lines. So that's a good notice to have. Let's do number 3.
Let's play open A.
1, 2, there we go. A, rest. 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 Now again, you might need to do each one of these a couple times, but for the sake of time, I'm going to do each one time. I'm moving on to number 4. The big notice here is that we now combine D and A in one song. Again, I'm also noticing that D is lower on the page than A is, just like it sounds lower on my instrument. D, A. Let's do number 4.
4, two's a team.
1, 2, here we go. D, 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 rest. A, 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 rest. D, D, A, A, D, 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 rest. You'll also notice that I'm still singing along just like we did last year, and especially when you're at home, I suggest singing while you play it. Moving on to number 5, At Perrault's Door. This one's a little bit trickier and might require a little bit more practice.
Five, At Perrault's Door.
1, 2, here we go. D, 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 A, D, rest, A, rest, D, D, A, D, rest. Moving on to the next page. We're looking at number 6, jumping jacks. Things that we should notice here is that now we have this is called a treble clef. This is going to look different depending on if you play violin, viola, bass, or cello. For this one, this is for violin. I also noticed this 4/4. That means we're going to have 4 beats of quarter notes that look like this for each measure. Let's do number 6, jumping jacks.
6. Jumping jacks.
1, 2, number 6. D, 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 rest. A, rest. D, D, A, D, 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 rest. Moving on to number 7, it's mix 'em up. This one's really tricky because it flips back and forth between D and A really quick, so you need to make sure to say it while you play it so you don't get too confused.
Seven. Mix 'em up.
1, 2, here we go. D, A, D, rest. A, D, A, rest. D, A, D, A, D, 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 rest. And we're going to stop there for today. The next page you're going to be turning to is number 10 on page 6.